Hello ratbags, it's Jade Plays Games. Welcome to another Subnautica tips guide. Today we are taking a look at the crash zone, the area where the Aurora has crash landed. This is a dangerous area and you're going to need some vital equipment to go exploring. The crash zone hosts a number of important things, including Cyclops scrap parts that you need to scan, also power transmitters that help you when you're building your bases, and the propulsion cannon. And of course it does host the Aurora section where you can go and explore the crashed ship. I'll be doing that in a separate video, but I did want to show you everything there was to know about the crashed lands around it. Mainly how you're going to need a radiation suit and some specialist equipment before you go and explore the Aurora. So come with me, it's Joe Plays Games, it's Subnautica Tips, let's go! So pretty much once that moment's passed and the Aurora has exploded, it will unlock the radiation suit. Now all we've got to do is go ahead and find the resources to craft it, and we're going to discover a few important items along the way. Now for a radiation suit you're going to need at least 2 fibre meshes and 2 pieces of lead. You can find lead in sandstone outcroppings, and these are pretty much situated everywhere. In the starting shadows you'll find them in some of the deeper caves. You're also going to need that fibre mesh. Now fibre mesh is made with 2 creepvine samples that you have to use your knife to take some from. So you're going to need to get at least 4 creepvine samples that take up a lot of space to craft some of the mesh. Once equipped you can swap any part of your other equipment out for it, but it does nullify the effects of warding off radiation. So if you really want to, you can take your helmet off and use your rebreather, or if you've got any type of different gloves you can equip them as well, but you will start taking more radiation damage. If you want to completely stop the radiation from getting to you, you have to wear all 3 parts that you get given when you craft a suit for the first time. Just in the opposite direction of the Aurora and your crash pod, you will come to the edge of the kelp forest. Around these cave systems is where you're going to find the most amount of lead. You'll find it in the sandstone croppings like I mentioned. It is that smooth surface little bulb that you'll find, and in here you're going to find lots of lead, and sometimes you even get a bit of silver as well. Now you need 2 pieces of lead to actually make your suit, so make sure you do pick up 2, and 2 parts of that mesh as I mentioned. And conveniently situated nearby is the creepvine clusters, so make sure you pick up some of the clusters there by hacking away with your knife and bring it back to your fabricator. The crash site is home to many fragments of the Cyclops vehicle and the propulsion cannon, both are really super useful. Now you can see the radiation has ticked on. If you didn't have the correct suit on, that will start taking damage from you and you will start losing your life. It can get fairly deep in this zone, and there are some underground caves as well to look out for. This biome really stretches out to 3 or 4 different ones, and you've got one of the biggest dangers nearby, a huge expanse filled with reapers just on one side of the Aurora. So be very careful as you're exploring and trying to get as many of the fragments as possible. Scan every single box, every single piece of metal, just to make sure there isn't a fragment that you've missed. In particular, there's one crash section where you're going to need at least a repair tool and possibly even a cutter to get through. So the crash site is certainly something you won't be going straight to, but you can certainly make a beeline for it as soon as the explosions happened and that you've got a chance to put your radiation suit on. You can find various little bits of fragments that you may have missed out on, particularly furniture and office stuff, and that's pretty much its main use. You also get a supply crate, which is pretty handy as well, and it usually has first aid kits etc. inside. Once you get a little closer on the left hand side you'll come across these dunes. There are lots of little supply caches all along here that you can pick up, and many of them have got the first aid kits in. You'll also be able to scan the first of your Cyclops engine fragments. Now the area to the left is mostly safe. As I said, the Reapers tend to be on the right hand side and at the very back of the Aurora, but you do have stalkers to the left, so it's worth pointing out. Don't go along this area if you are low on health. If you do venture over to the right hand side, be warned, it's very murky, and this is where you're going to come face to face probably with your first Leviathan. They are extremely dangerous. It only takes 2 attacks and maybe even 1 if they catch you full on. It's always a bit of a shock and a surprise when one of them catches you in its grasp. I was lucky enough here, I only got sideswiped. There are quite a few of these in these waters, so don't think just because you manage to maybe kill one later on in the game you're safe. There is loads of them around, so flow away from these guys. Don't go near them until you've got the proper equipment and the right tools. If you keep venturing around the sandbank area, you'll also pick up a bunch of other resources much needed, and you can find another entrance onto the Aurora as well. But what you're after is these parts, the Cyclops bits. This is going to give you the bridge. There are many sections for the Cyclops before you can actually think about trying to build it or getting the resources needed. So scan as many fragments as you possibly can. Now, like I said, there are a few cave systems and it's mostly got lots of limestone, so you can pick up loads of titanium and loads of copper ore. It's well worth considering building a tiny little base. Although you are quite close to the life pod, you may want to put a small tiny base just with a fabricator, so you can keep coming back and crafting lots of copper wire or anything to do with basically copper and titanium, so you've got lots of deposits and lots of stores of it. Keep scanning the sandbanks underneath the Aurora and you will definitely keep coming across the Cyclops parts you need. There are also various large deposits that you can get hold of too once you get the right equipment for cutting them. If you keep going all the way to the back as well, you will find some Cyclops engine parts too, and these are again crucial for making sure you're going on your quest to get the Cyclops submarine. Now, by this point, if you've been scanning all the wreckage you can find along these banks and all the way up until the crash site, you should have unlocked your propulsion cannon as well. Now, this is really useful. So a propulsion cannon can be used to fish. You can use it literally to go and suck up any fish that are nearby. It can also be used to move heavy rocks and debris that's in your way while exploring too. Just like many of the devices, it does use batteries or ion batteries, so make sure you've got one equipped when you've crafted it, but obviously you will need to go back to a fabricator to make it. So you can see here we've got a large lead deposit and you're going to need the prawn suit arm to actually take care of this and harvest its resources, but you get an absolute bundle, so as soon as you get a prawn suit, remember you can come back here and get lead deposits. In fact, there are so many propulsion cannon fragments here, you can synthesize one just by making sure you scan every single piece. Otherwise you are going to obviously get 2 titanium as well. So it's really definitely worth coming here and picking up some of these resources. And that is pretty much it for the crash site. I will be talking you through exactly how to take on the Reapers when you've got the right ship and talking through the Aurora, but it's going to take a whole video for that. But definitely worth exploring. As soon as you get a radiation suit, just come and look and suss out what's going on, see what resources there, and like I said, go for that propulsion cannon. That's probably the most crucial part. There's one more thing to note. While exploring this area, you can get a power transmitter. This is absolutely crucial if you're building bases and you need to get power across from one zone to another, particularly if you're using solar panels and maybe if you've built your base very deep down. This is the only way to transfer sunlight power all the way down to your base. And there we go, that is the crash site more or less done and dusted. I am Jade Plays Games. If this has helped you out, hit me up with a like. I'll be going through all the details of all of these items more individually and showing you again more in detail every single biome as we progress through the game. Please go and check out all my other tutorials and check out my Let's Play that's hopefully started by now. And I'll see you ratbags for another Subnautica video very soon. Bye bye.